Video about my 80 series Landcruiser. I'm sure there's plenty of Landcruiser videos on the internet, but I just wanted to show you the back of my setup. I'm sort of planning this vehicle as a tourer, but also it's my daily driver to work, so I didn't quite want it to be too heavy. I also tried to make everything removable as much as I can because I didn't want to be carrying around the extra weight. It is a petrol Landcruiser, so anyone who has a petrol Landcruiser will know they suck quite a bit of juice. But anyway, we'll just give you a quick look at what's inside. So, first of all here, I've just got the Super Center drawers from Titan. The Adventures, four-wheel drive Super Center drawers, sorry. They're not too bad drawers. They're cheap enough and the build quality is pretty good. They're a little bit noisy at times. I've had to just make a few arrangements, make sure the bolts and everything are tight for them. But just for carrying all my stuff around, or like every day to and from work, it's fine. So, move some of that out of the way. In this one drawer here, that's just all of my spare stuff. So I've just got, you know, a change of clothes, some toiletries, a towel, tea, coffee, a few tins of tuna, some of these little curry packets just in case you get stuck somewhere in the bush. You know, you might get flooded in or something, or bushfires, you need a bit of food. There you go. I've also got a little compressor in there as well, just for pumping the tyres up and down. It's just a little one from Anaconda. It's only a 25 litre per minute, so it's quite slow, but I don't know, I don't really see the point of having all these big compressors. Yeah, you can get on the road faster, but if you're on the holiday, then what's the point? Let's put that back in there. A little tyre deflator, some gloves, just for some recoveries if I ever need to do it. Not that I plan to do it because I'm not a really big four-wheel driver. Just a couple of shackles in there, and a couple of straps and a little tyre repair kit, and there's also a tarp in there just in case I need to lay down on the ground. On this side over here, I've got all my tools. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably a little bit better. And I've mainly just gone to Super Cheap, and I've been a really big fan of these little pouches you can buy. They're like little pencil cases. And they come in like three big sizes. You get a pack of 3 for like $14, and they come in big sizes, so you got big, small and medium. And I just like to keep my punches and circuit pliers, little bolt removers and that kind of stuff in there. It makes it really nice and handy just to have everything organised. So I've got a set of 3/8 spanners and ratchets in there, sockets, a 1/4 inch sockets. This one here is just my oil filter and my wheel hub socket for the bearings, front bearings. I've just got a half-inch socket set there with a half-inch socket driver, and all this stuff is just spanners, pliers, screwdrivers, a few miscellaneous stuff, a couple of hammers, some zip ties, a few blocks of wood, so just in case you need to jack something up and you're in the bush somewhere, and just a little tiny miniature grease gun in there, just so if I'm out somewhere I can grease unis and prop shafts and that kind of stuff. They're not too bad, these drawers. They do, when I mean they rattle around a little bit. Zoom out there. Sorry guys, I'm not the best cameraman in the world. I'm only just starting, so you can just see they've got a bit of a rattle in there, so when you're driving along and you sort of stop, they just sort of clunk out a bit. But if you've got the radio on, the windows down, which I normally do, you can normally live with it. So for my fridge, I've actually chosen a little angle. I don't know, a lot of people, they really go for these big, like 90 litre fridges. This is only an Engel 21 litre. I think it's one of the smallest fridges you can get for them. I think there's an 18 litre below there, but I don't know, the 21 litre seems to do me fine. Now the Super Center drawers, they come with a built-in fridge slide. I was going to add another drop-down fridge slide, but the price they want for them, they're at least $600, and it's a lot of money when you could spend it on other things you need. So this one actually doesn't seem to work me too bad. So I've just added a little clip in here, a little hasp, staple and hasp hinge there, because the hinge that comes with the Super Center drawers, it's not exactly the best, and I found mine actually rattled loose and the fridge slide wouldn't actually close. And I think with that staple and hasp hinge there, it actually holds it a lot firmer, which is good. So you just undo that, wiggle that out of there, and you can just slide your fridge out. And, you know, power cord back there, and that just runs back down to my power distribution box there, which is fine. So I'll just close that back up. And to be honest, for me, I'm only really planning to do weekend trips and maybe, like, you know, when I get a bit of time off work, a month maximum. So, and you can fit a fair bit in there. Cold stuff anyway, it's good. It can work as a fridge freezer, as most can. Keeps it pretty cold. It's pretty efficient on power. So yeah. Down the side here, now the Super Center drawers, sorry, I just moved you over. The Super Center drawers, they did come with a wing kit, but I chose not to put them on. And the reason for that is oh, it's my reason anyway, I suppose, but it's just a, so I can store extra stuff in there. The wing kit, yes, you can store stuff in there, but I really didn't like it, so I'm just gonna have to do something, maybe make up a storage box or weld some brackets in or something like that. I don't know, I'll figure something out. But in here, that's just like some like emergency repair tape, some metal putty, like some Dynasteel for fuel tanks, radiators, some WD-40, some aero starter and some carby cleaner, you know, just in case you're out somewhere and you need to clean something up. I just keep a coat up in here, and then behind in there there's actually a little entrenching tool, just a little tiny like army shovel you can use. It's good just if you're ever out somewhere and you need a shovel. I mean, even if you need to go and do a number 2 in the bush, it's nice and easy. This little fella here, I actually bought this from Tent World, and it's like a little garden sprayer, but what it actually is a little bush shower. So all you do is you fill your water up in there, boil your billy, fill your water up, and if you actually pump this up and you use this little shower head, it gives you a quite nice flow. It's not as good as your 12 volt pumps and your 12 volt water heaters, but I mean it holds 5 litres of water, so it's a lot more efficient. Water adds up to weight, and you know, weight is just critical to any sort of touring vehicle, because the more weight you carry, obviously the more fuel you're going to burn. So yeah, that all fits in there sort of well enough for now. In behind the back of that panel in there, sorry for the camera work, I'm doing this on a tripod. You probably can't even see in there, but there's a little hatch in there, and that just holds the jack and the spare tools for the tyres. Plus I've also got a set of fan belts and radiator hoses in behind the panel, so it's just keeps it out of the way, and you know, you're never really going to need it that often unless you really need to change one, so, or your radiator hose goes on the road or something, you know, keeps it out of the way. Right, pan over this way. Now on this side here, I've got a little 10 litre jerry. It's just spongied in there, which probably isn't the most secure method, but it fits in there quite well. So what I was actually planning to do one day is just go and get some angle iron and sort of make up a bracket and bolt it to the side of this drawer here, so I can actually sit a jerry can in there and it'll be fine. 20 litre preferably, I suppose, but that's probably all I'm going to be able to get in there. A 10's just squeezing in there now, so I'm hoping a 20 litre sort of vertical one will stand up alright. Right, with my water in the back, I am in the process of getting a water bladder for the rear or hanging on the cargo barrier, but now at the moment I've just come up with this idea. I mean, there's a lot of water ideas on YouTube nowadays, and that's just a milk crate, as you can see, with a 20 litre drum in it, and I've just cut out this section of the milk crate for the bung here, and really, just move that fridge cord out of the way, really all you need to do is just take it here like this, and you just turn your bung on, which that's already on. And I just went to Bunnings. I wanted to get a barb fitting and basically run a hose straight out, but obviously when I go to Bunnings, there's nothing in stock, so this is all I can find at the moment. So really, that's there, you've just got a hose fitting here, it's a brass fitting, and then if you get a bit of time, water will come out. Yeah, it's not too bad, it's gravity fed, but my view is if you have electric pumps, A, it's more to go wrong, and B, you actually waste more water because it comes out. Gravity fed's just nice and slow, keeps the flow nice and slow, you know, you're not going to waste that much water. I've been out for 3 or 4 days and I've had a 30 litre drum in there, and I only use something like 10 or 15 litres of water out of the 30 litre drum, and that's for cooking, cleaning, drinking, eating, everything like that, washing up. Righto. So, now the cargo barrier, that's not a bad cargo barrier. It's a Outback Accessories, I think it is. I mean, they said that you can't actually fit this cargo barrier to any other drawers apart from the Outback accessory drawers, but the Outback drawers are actually more expensive than the bloody Drifter ones, and Drifter's really good stuff from what I've seen. But yeah, no, I've made it fit with these Super Center drawers, and it's fine. It doesn't rattle around. You can strap shit to it. Yeah, so you know, you got 20 litres of water there, and that's ratchet strapped down. That doesn't move, and that's bolted into the back of the drawers, as well as up on the brackets up there, and it really doesn't move. It's actually a pretty good mod to the vehicle, actually, I think, because you can just use so much with it. You can use it to brace stuff, you can strap things down to it. I mean, I was thinking about hanging a water bladder from there, or maybe in the future removing the rear seats and putting like a sort of like a 12-volt panel up there, but I'll have to sort things out first. As I said, it's my daily driver, so it's to and from work all the time, so I don't want to have too much stuff in there. Righto, moving on. So if we go around this way, so this is just the back of the vehicle there. So this is the back of the vehicle here, and at the moment I've only got one rear seat in there at the moment. It's got my swag and my recovery tracks and everything sort of piled up there. It's at the moment, it's January, and I'm in southeast Queensland, and I mean, it's just been wet. I mean, it's been muddy where I am now. It's raining, and you know, I'm bloody, as you can see by my tyres there, and these are only highway tyres, so coming down some of those slopes, I was a bit sketchy. Thought I was going to slide off the edge there, but got through okay. I'll just be going out. That's probably the hard part. So I've just got my cot and everything that sits in the floor well there, which is alright. My swag and everything's on top of that gear in there, but I've just got that rear seat in there. So I sort of thought that if I was ever at camp and it had a bit of bad weather, like I've been out here once before and there was plenty of wind, heaps of wind. It was really windy and it was just really bad. It was almost like it was cutting into you, and it was just nice just to be able to get in the back there, and especially during winter, just sit in the seat there, and you could put like that little tub there I've got, you could use it as a bit of a table, so you could put coffee there and a couple of bickies, and you could hang your phone up on the rear of the front seat there and watch a movie or something. It was just nice to get out of the weather. Yeah, so in the back also, the 80 series has these split windows, so the old Cookie Monster there, but all I normally do is I just crack this window a fraction here, and then that actually lets me run a cable out for my solar panels. I've just got one of those Adventure Kings 200 watt solar blankets. So they give you the solar blanket, let me just pan over. They give you the solar blanket here, and it's 200 watt, it folds up, it's pretty lightweight. There's just a plastic bag over there to cover the regulator because it's been a bit rainy, so I didn't want it to get damaged or wet or anything. It's only they only come with an MPPT regulator, no sorry, a PWM regulator, not an MPPT. So it's not the best regulator. It only puts out 10 amps at maximum. It does for me, because I mean, at the moment I'm only running that little Engel fridge and then some camp lights, so at the moment my power consumption per day is probably well, that Engel only draws a maximum of 2.5 amps per hour, so I don't know, I can't be using that much power, but it's just good just to keep that battery topped up. Right, so in the back of the passenger floor well here, or the back passenger area, this is where that tub is and the rear seat used to be. So as I said, you've got my rear seat there, you sit down there if you want to. In here, I just went to this website on the internet. I got it off eBay actually, but their website is called Home of 12 Volt, and it's actually a little 12 volt distribution box, and you can get them in different variations, which is really good. So it comes with a little 15 amp circuit breaker there. Sorry, just focus this a bit better if I can. Yeah, there you go. So it just got a little 15 amp inbuilt circuit breaker, which is good, resettable. It's got a little button here which is your voltmeter, so if you hit this button, comes on, tells you what the fridge is running at, tells you what your battery's doing. You know, that solar panels are, it's been overcast here, been on and off sunny, so it goes up and down obviously. You turn that off, and so they'll just run that solar panel, the Anderson plug in through back here, and that just plugs into here. My Engel goes in the bottom there, and then on the top there, so that's a 12 volt cigarette on the bottom, and there's a dual 2.1 USB on the top there. It's really good enough for me at the moment. I was thinking about just getting another USB light and just sort of hooking it up on top of this cargo barrier here, just so I can run it, which is good. And then I've just got a little light on the back there. I'll just turn it on here, just with this little switch. It's just a USB one from eBay, and it just turns on at the back, and it puts out plenty of light for if you're just cooking or anything. So yeah, just go under the bonnet now. Yeah, poor old Avie, she's looking a bit rough sometimes. I'll just show you the battery setup that I've got. Sorry. Let's find the bloody bonnet catch. There it is. Alright. So that's the 1FZ petrol motor. Yeah, they're a good motor, nice and torquey, plenty of power. A little bit slow, obviously, compared to all your modern dual cab turbo diesels, but to be honest, I like it because it's just nice and reliable for me. That's what I like about it. Okay, so over here, this is just my starting battery. It's just a standard flooded starting battery like any normal car battery. And then I've just went and bought a Adventure Kings isolator for it. So just runs from here down here, and you can just see the isolator if you can. Sorry, I'll just try and get the camera in there. Just a little Kings isolator. I think it's 140 amp. So it's pretty good enough, and really all that does is it lets the alternator charge your second battery and your main battery, and then when your main battery is at 12.8 or above, it actually takes the current from this, runs it through that isolator, and then runs it down along here, and then it runs it over to your auxiliary battery here. This here is just a flooded deep cycle battery, so it's essentially the same as a lead acid battery and a starting battery, but it's just deep cycle. I was going to go for an AGM battery, but I already had the setup of the just your VSR, your voltage sensitive relay, your basic isolator and most dual battery kits. I had a Century Overlander battery in here, and it sort of well, I bought a second hand and it wasn't very good, we'll just say that. So this is just a regular deep cycle battery, not AGM or anything. If I was going to go AGM, I would have to put a DC to DC charger. And to be honest, you could fit it down in there somewhere, but I really don't want to do any more wiring on this car, so while I can get these batteries, I'll just get them. They're a 102 amp hour, 12 volts. Yeah, they're not too bad. This is just a battery tray that I bought from eBay, Tough Car Parts or something like that, I think they were, or Grunt battery tray, that's what it was. And it was just really just a nice breeze to fit. They just bolt in. You just put the new battery in, there's no faffing around. Yeah, you pay a little bit more money for it, but at least you know it fits your vehicle. And then that's an N70T sort of standard battery, so it's a standard cruiser battery size anyway. You had to relocate the washer bottle. The washer bottle used to be in here, but I had to relocate that up to there. They did give me a bracket that fits the guard, but I've got all this wiring here, so it was sort of in the way. So I just had to sort of make up my own bracket in the shed for it and just put a couple of brackets in there, and yeah, no, it's alright. That's my washer bottle. That's just an overflow bottle from Super Cheap. It only holds a litre, but you know, my line of thought was I'm not washing the windscreen that often anyway, and so yeah, if I'm on the road and there's a windscreen need to be washed, I'll just stop at the servo and do it. So yeah, that's pretty much the 80. A lot of people turbocharge and supercharge them, but I think I'm just going to keep it naturally aspirated. I would like a lot more power in it, but to be honest, I just like the simplicity and the reliability of them being just naturally aspirated. As I said, they're the slowest thing, you know, on the planet just about, these trucks, but they'll get you anywhere, and you know, they'll get you home again, which is the main thing. So yeah, oh yeah, just around this side too. So I've just got the Super Center roof rack up there. Sorry, so not the best cameraman in the world. Let me just focus that in. That's just a full length, other way. There you go. That's just a full length steel roof rack, and to be honest, they're not too bad. Look, if I'm honest, I would have been better off saving the money and going for a bigger rack like that, but an aluminium rack. Yes, they might have been a bit more expensive, but I mean, that thing is damn heavy, and it's not so much the weight on the roof. Well, it is, that makes a big difference, but it's the wind resistance as well. And I know an aluminium one will still have the same, give you the sort of wind drag on there, but I don't know, I suppose I can't have everything. I'm really picky about fuel economy on this thing. Oh well, I suppose if you're picky about it, don't drive the Cruiser, eh? So I've just got a Ridge Rider awning here, 2.5 by 2.5 meter awning from Super Cheap. I had a like a no-name brand awning. I used to have this little Suzuki, and I had this little awning, and it was decent for what it was. But this is the first time setting this up for me, and this one is so much better. Like, I'll just give you an example of what the quality is here. These pins here, there was these pins where they go through the two eyelets. the cheaper one that I had only had one, the sort of the pin here was only long enough to go through one eyelet, so if it was really windy or something like that, this thing would just kick out and it'd be bloody flapping all over the place and you'd be chasing it, and then I think the thing actually ended up tearing off of this part up here, which wasn't very good. Yeah, up in there just tore the canvas off. So yeah, I wasn't too happy about that, but I suppose that told me to buy a bit better quality, you know. And these are the best things. They do give you a couple of guy wires with them, but these aren't, oh, the horses in the background over there, these aren't the guy wires that they come with. I actually bought these, and they're just a dual sort of guy wire system. So they come off your pole there, and they one to the front and one to the side, and I've got one on either side there. And as I said, it was raining a little bit, so I just sloped the awning out to get some runoff of the water. And to be honest, like this, it's really solid, this. Like, I don't want to shake it too much obviously, but if it's really windy, at least you know it's not going to blow over. So yeah, I really don't know what the future is with Big Girl. I don't know, I just put these tyres on, and they're highway tyres because I drive to work every day and back every day, and I do a lot of kilometres on the highway. So, and I sort of thought, oh well, because I had Bridgestone Jewelers on there, all-terrains, and to be honest, they were really good tyres, really strong tyres, but the fuel economy just killed me. If you wouldn't believe it, I had steel wheels and those Bridgestones on there, and I actually got something like 300 kilometres less out of a tank than I do with these tyres and these wheels on there. So it's a trade-off really. Just driving through that mud, I might just have to drop these tyre pressures down a little bit more. I dropped about 10 or 15 psi out of them, so you know, anyway, that's just the way it goes, I suppose. But yeah, no, so I've got an awning tent here too from Ridge Rider. Well, it's actually my dad's, I borrowed it from him, and I was going to set it up, but to be honest, if you have a look at the sky, I mean, it's nice and blue, so it might rain a bit more. We're down in the Gatton area, so it might rain a bit more, it might not. I hope it does, because if you have a look around here, like just how dry it is, and it's been dry like this since last year. I had a little bit of rain down here, but it doesn't do too much, it all just gets soaked into the ground. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, these things here, these are called a wolf pack. They're from a South African company there called Front Runner. Yeah, look, to be honest, they're not too bad. They're not that expensive. They're about $45 for a box. And yeah, look, they're a pretty good box. I don't think they're as tough as what the advertiser makes them sound out as, but to be honest, you know, compared to all your little $2 sort of cheapy shops with the plastic tubs, they're a lot stronger than them. Like, they're pretty, and you can stack them too, which is a good thing. You can really just stack them on top of each other. But that's just all my kitchen stuff, so just my pots, pans and everything like that, nice and cooking. I just cook on one of those little sort of butane stoves that everyone cooks on. It's nice and easy. But yeah, no, and just the ground sheet here, that's just a 4-wheel drive Supercenter ground sheet, and it's not too bad. And really what I'll do, my new camping setup for a while is just been to set up the awning and then just put a ground sheet out, and to be honest, just put a table and chair out, and then when I want to go to bed, I just put my cot along here, or whichever way you want to go, and then just roll your swag out. And if I really want to, I've got a mosquito net in there, and I can just hang the mosquito net off of these rails, and it's just big enough just to cover my swag and my stretcher, and that does me. Keep some mozzies off you, so that's all you really need, and the swag and the stretcher is comfortable enough. So yeah, boys and girls, and all the above genders, I suppose, as they are nowadays, that's my setup in the 80 series. I'll probably be due to change my mind again because I'm pretty indecisive with it, but for the moment I'm happy with the old girl. Yeah, all these new cars, and I was thinking about getting a new vehicle, but to be honest, I think I might just stick with this one for now, because I've put so much money and so much work and time and effort into it that it'd be a waste to buy a new vehicle and then upgrade that. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.